Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Monday, May 12th, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Monday in baseball. First up, we got the Milwaukee Brewers taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Freddie Peralta and Ben Lively are the projected starters. Peralta's in great form. Now, there was a little bit of an injury scare, but he looks to be ready to go for the start on Monday, and he's in great form. You look at his last 5 games, 3 runs or fewer in all 5 of those starts. Good strikeout numbers. The control's been there. I think he has a quality start in this game, and, Ben Lively's pitched well this season. I mentioned, though, the home run ball is something that's hurt him at times in his career. You look at his last start against the Nationals, he was 5 1/3 a one-run ball, but that one run was a bomb given up. Now, the Cleveland Guardians have, done very well in his starts recently and overall this season. But I've mentioned I also think that the Brewers are a lot better than their current record. They're a team that I think we're going to get some really good prices with and find value with as the season goes along. And this is one of those spots. I'm going to take the Brewers at a pretty discount price when it comes to getting Milwaukee with Peralta on the mound at this kind of price on the money line. Next up, we got the Boston Red Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers. We got Tanner Houck and Jackson Jobe as the starters. Obviously, it's not been the best start to the season for Tanner Houck, but we also saw Jackson Jobe really struggle in his last start at Coors Field. Now, you can say, it's at Coors Field, very hitter-friendly ballpark, but the Rockies, even at Coors, have been one of the worst offenses in baseball this year. So to see Jobe give up 6 earned runs, a couple of home runs in just 3 2/3, we mentioned the regression concerns with Jobe's game. He's not been the sharpest in his last 2 starts combined, 7 2/3, those 9 runs, 3 home runs, 5 walks to go with it. I think the Red Sox get to him. I think Houck could be good enough in this game. I think we're getting a really good price with the Red Sox because the Tigers, I think, are a little bit overvalued right now in this situation. So give me the Red Sox on the money line at Comerica. Next up, we got the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Matthew Liberatore and Christopher Sanchez are the starters. Now, both of these starting pitchers faced the opposition when these teams met back in the middle of April in St. Louis, and both starters had great outings, but Liberatore went 6 scoreless innings with 7 strikeouts, while Sanchez went 6 1/3 one-run ball, but had 8 base hits given up, a couple of walks, and only 3 strikeouts to go with it. Liberatore had the better outing. When you look at the numbers for these teams offensively in the last 3 weeks or so against left-handed pitching, St. Louis, really low strikeout rate and a high walk rate, really high walk rate to go with it. I think that could be a problem for Sanchez early on. I think the Cardinals can do enough early in this game to compete, and I like their chances in the first 5 innings, plus a half a run. We're getting a pretty good price with that for the first half of this game. I do think that the Phillies have the bullpen advantage, even though we've mentioned the slow start to the season for that bullpen. I think on paper it's still the much better bullpen in terms of projected WAR. That's the case as well. So I'm just going to roll with the Cardinals in the first 5 plus a half a run. Next up, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the New York Mets. We got Paul Skeens and David Peterson as the starters. I'm looking at the first 5 innings of this game as well. I think we're going to see a low-scoring game overall. I could see the Pirates scoring 1 or 2 off of Peterson. Perhaps the Mets can get the Skeens for a run, but I just think this is going to be a low-scoring game at Citi Field. Pirates have been miserable offensively this year. Skeens is an ace-level starter. The Pirates have not been great against lefties also, so I just think we see kind of just a slow start to this game. Maybe it picks up a little bit towards the end. That's why I don't love the full game under, because it's also not a lot of wiggle room for the full game under. The Pirates bullpen's been inconsistent, so I'm just going to roll with the first 5 innings under, and I think I would lean towards Pittsburgh plus a half a run in the first 5 innings as well. Next up, the Washington Nationals taking on the Atlanta Braves. Jake Irvin and Grant Holmes are the projected starters. I like the Braves to win this game, but I've mentioned I don't love their current form offensively. So right now, I don't really want to lay a 1.5 runs on the run line with Atlanta, even though the money line is a bit of a steep price. I still think it's the play. In similar situation, as a premium play the other day for the Reds and Braves game, I took Atlanta minus 170 on the money line. I rarely take anything in that kind of price range, but it was a situation where I figured the Atlanta Braves had a big-time bullpen advantage and starting pitching advantage. I didn't think they were going to score a ton of runs, but I didn't think they had really much of a chance to lose that game. And they were up 1-0. They were up 2-1. Now they got a little bit dicey towards the end of that game. The bullpen, gave up a 2-run shot to Rhys Hines, but Atlanta still ended up winning that game 5-4 in extra innings. failing to cover the run line, but winning the game outright. I think this could be a similar situation where Holmes pitches pretty well. Irvin's solid as well, but the Braves bullpen has the advantage late, and they win this game by maybe 1 run. It could be more of a decisive victory, but I just don't want to take that chance, so I'm going to go with the Braves on the money line. Next up, we've got the Miami Marlins taking on the Chicago Cubs. We got Cal Quantrill and Colin Ray as the starters. I like the under in this game. We got good pitcher-friendly weather at Wrigley. It's going to be a little bit colder. Wind is blowing in. I know Cal Quantrill's got an ERA above 7, but he saw his last game against the Dodgers, 5 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, one of his best starts of the season against one of the best lineups in baseball. Now, for a pitch-to-contact guy going on the road at Wrigley with the pitcher-friendly weather, I think it's a good spot for Quantrill, even though the Cubs have been great offensively against righties. So are the Dodgers. I think that, Quantrill can put together another solid outing, and Colin Ray's been excellent this season to start the year. I'm going to roll with the under in Marlins Cubs. Next up, the Colorado Rockies taking on the Texas Rangers. Chase Dollander and Tyler Mahle are the starters. I like another under in this one. We've got the Rockies coming off their Coors Field series where they really weren't even great offensively for most of those games. We saw them get complete game shutout from Stephen Kolek. There's been less than 40 of those in Coors Field history. So the Rockies have just been miserable to start the year on both sides of the ball, but I still think Chase Dollander has a lot of upside to his game. I know he struggled quite a bit in that last start, but that was at Coors. I think he'll be a little bit better in this game on the road. And the Rangers, while we've seen them start to pick things up offensively, still for the most part been one of the weaker lineups in baseball against right-handed pitching. So give me the under in Rockies Rangers for this one. Next up, we've got Michael Wacha and Framber Valdez on the mound for this Royals-Astros matchup at Daikin Park. And this is a rematch, the same exact pitching matchup back on April 26th. That was a 2-0 Royals win. And we know the Royals have been great at Kauffman Stadium. Not so great on the road with an 8-11 record so far this season. The Astros have been a lot better at home themselves, and offensively especially. We talked about how their numbers against righties so much better at home than they are on the road. So while Wacha was excellent in that first game in this season series, I do think he could be a little bit in trouble in this game at Houston. And I think Framber Valdez, who pitched really well in that first game, even though the Astros lost that one, it was still 8 innings of 2-run ball from Framber, and the Royals have not been great against lefties this year. We saw it most recently. Garrett Crochet had a really good outing, and that was at Kauffman Stadium. I think Framber can go, quality start here. I think they back him up. I'm going to go with Houston on the money line in this one at home. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Angels taking on the San Diego Padres. Yusei Kikuchi and Michael King are the starters. I think this could be a sleepy spot for San Diego. I think the value's there with LA. I think there's, the under certainly in play as well, but when you look at this matchup, San Diego coming off the Coors Field series, they had a great series offensively in that one, but now, no days off in between that one and this game. I think the bats struggle. I think they're going to see, we're going to see some sluggish bats early in this series from San Diego, and you got Yusei Kikuchi's in much better form than he was at the very beginning of the season. Then you got Michael King, who's been pitching well, but we've also seen the Padres lose a few of his starts recently. He's 1-3 in his last 4, or the Padres are 1-3 in his last 4. I think the value's there. Give me the Angels in this one on the money line, plus 1.5 runs. And again, I lean towards the under as well. Next up, we got the New York Yankees and the Seattle Mariners. No official starter right now for New York, but Emerson Hancock should be going for the M's. And while Hancock's pitched really well recently, the Mariners have won his last 4 starts. He's had 3 straight quality starts in that span. I still don't love him in this matchup against a really tough Yankees lineup against right-handed pitching. I think the Yankees can get to him. Now, I also think Seattle's been very competitive offensively this season, so maybe a rare over at T-Mobile Park. But I think the Yankees do take this game in the end. I think this is going to be this is obviously a pretty competitive season series, usually is, and kind of a rivalry in the American League. But I think the Yankees take this first game. Should be a really fun series to watch. And the final game we're going to talk about for the Monday card in Major League Baseball, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks and San Francisco Giants. Merrill Kelly and Justin Verlander are the projected starters. Now, when you look at the home and road splits for Merrill Kelly this season, they're very misleading because the road ERA looks steep on paper because of that Yankee start where Kelly gave up 9 runs in 3 2/3. But since that one game in his last 3 road starts, Kelly's been excellent. 6 innings, 1 run against the Marlins, 9 strikeouts, 5 2/3, 1 run against the Cubs, 5 innings, 1 run against the Phillies in those last 3 road games. So I think he pitches pretty well against the Giants lineup. I'm still not crazy about. I think the Diamondbacks have the much better lineup against right-handed pitching, a top 5 lineup in all of baseball this year against righties. So I'm going to roll with Arizona on the money line on the road. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday in Major League Baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.